Good morning, brothers and sisters. This is Danny from CatchForChrist.net, and today we're going to memorize Psalm 138:7. As always, we'll be using the Scripture Typer Bible Memory System app, and see the first video on this channel's playlist, on this playlist for this channel, to see a more in-depth tutorial on how I like to use this app and try to get the most out of it. But it's pretty straightforward. As I always say, just going to hit my verses. Hit the plus sign, hit new verse, choose the book, and then type in the chapter and verse or verses. You can choose your Bible translation and also categorize your verses into collections. So I'll put this in Psalms and import the verse text. And you hit save, and then just scroll to wherever the verse is. So 138. Alright. Now it's a three-step process. You're going to first type the verse. Now typing it just entails hitting the first letter of each word, so you don't have to type out the whole verse. Each word, like each letter and character, but just type the first letter of each word, and the word should turn from gray to black. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. And I like to recite the verse as I type it. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. And I like to do each step at least 3 times. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. The second step is to memorize it. The app is going to take away half of the words, and now you're essentially filling in the blanks. But you're still only going to hit the first letter of each word. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You deliver or stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. Now, when you make a mistake, it'll turn red, it'll buzz. It'll show you what your percentage of accuracy is when you're finished. And every other time you do the second step, memorize it, it'll alternate the words that are visible. Also, you'll see how it's red where I made a mistake previously. That's called a heat signature, and it just lets you know where you made a mistake last time. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. And one more time. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. That was a mistake. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. Alright, and the last step, of course, is to master it. Now you're going to do the verse without any on-screen helps. Even though the heat signature can help you out, it'll let you know if it's like a long word or a short word, etc. But at this point, the main reason I like to recite the verse as I'm typing it is that I've already said the verse 6 times and typed it 6 times. So now I should be relatively familiar with it, and I should be able to hear it and almost visualize it because of how I've been interacting with the verse previously. So this is why I kind of like this method. So you're probably going to hear your own voice in your head at some point. So let's see how I do. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. Psalm 138:7. So it'll tell you what your accuracy level is on this step. It'll say, great job, you've mastered this verse. If you have hit your target accuracy or your accuracy threshold, which you can set in your settings. my accuracy threshold is 96%. So that means that if I review this verse tomorrow and get at least 96% accuracy, then it will advance the review frequency for me. So right now it's set on review daily. No, don't do that. Okay. So I do it tomorrow, hit my accuracy level, it'll advance it to every 2 days. And then 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, so on and so forth, all the way to once a year and to not at all. So this app does a great job of spacing out your practice for you. You don't have to worry about when you have to memorize the verses. It takes care of all that. If you hit review, it'll give you a countdown of which verses are coming up, so to speak. And you can always, review them in advance, which I like to do. Now, when you hit 100% accuracy, like it might take a little longer than this. This is only one verse. If you're doing a longer passage or something that's a little more complicated, then the poetic writings, which are generally more easy to memorize, at least in my view, it might take you some time, but I want to encourage you to keep working at it until you get 100% accuracy. And then once you get 100% accuracy, try to get it at least 3 times total without any errors, because that's the version of the verse you want to really ingrain in your head, the error-free version of the verse. And especially when you first learn it, this will go a long way when you start reviewing the verse the next day and every 2 days and 3 days. So if you get it down patent in the beginning, it'll help you out in the future. So this is the video for today. We'll be studying Psalm 138 in its entirety. It's always good to read verses in context. And I'm going to keep working on this verse, get it a couple more times, hopefully. But thank you for watching. This is Danny from CatchForChrist.net. Hopefully I'll post this video in a post sometime in the near future. But have a great day, and God bless.